Oh, Dip, we're back. We're doing a thing.
I'm so excited.
Who would have guessed?
I'm so excited for the thing today.
We are going to be watching something slightly ahead of schedule. We got some early access to The Legend of Vox Machina, an animated series coming to Amazon Prime, #not sponsored. Ugh. So for those of you who are unaware, this show is based on the show Critical Role, which is a live cast tabletop RPG podcast, webcast type of thing.
I don't know, they sit around a table, roll some dice.
They roll some dice, they play some games, they're voice actors, so they're actually really good at storytelling.
Professional voice actors.
Voice actors.
Very prolific within the voice acting community.
And they're all sort of redoing their roles here for this show.
This is, what's super interesting is that this is their home game.
Yeah.
And they started streaming, and then it ended up becoming this like phenomenon that they are turning into a cartoon now.
Yeah, so these first 2 episodes that we're getting access to are apparently based on...
Is it 2 or 3?
We're getting 2. But the first 3 episodes are coming out this Friday, which is hopefully when this video will come out. So if this video is out and you have Amazon Prime, go ahead and go watch it. We're not sponsored.
I was like, how higher can you go?
So these first 2 episodes are basically they're an original story. Like this is what the Kickstarter was supposed to be doing. The Kickstarter, they for those of you who are unaware, this series got kickstarted on Kickstarter. They were going to raise like $700,000 for
I think it was less. I think it was like $250,000 for a 22-minute special.
Yeah, it was like a couple $100,000 for like one 20-minute special, and it became like $11 million.
Yeah, they I think broke a world record for the most.
They broke several world records for like the most funded Kickstarter something.
And I think also in the fastest because they raised those $11 million
in like 40 days.
Yeah, no.
And most of it was like in the first week.
It was like super fast.
Oh, they made
insanely fast.
They made like $5 million in like 2 weeks or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, even they were like.
Yeah, they were all like,
oh my god, okay. Full series then.
Yeah, I mean, that was the goal. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole series.
I'm so excited, I'm gonna cry. Right now, there's one character named Thaxeldon.
She's a little obsessed.
Oh, Liam O'Brien. That man really said, every box, like, what are the things Adriana likes in a character? Sad boy, edgy, dark clothing, dark hair, just everything.
Elf.
Just
birds. Wow.
And it was like an instant thing. It was like love at first hearing.
Love at first sound.
So I was like, wow, that one. It's that one.
He's
and
my favorite.
Have like textual evidence of this.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
So needless to say, we are hopefully optimistic about this show.
I'm very optimistic.
All the promotional stuff looks pretty good.
It looks awesome. I mean, from what I've seen of just the Critical Role crew, cast and crew, they're easy people to trust with something like this.
Oh, sure.
So, especially being...
this is also their story.
Yeah, creator-made, like fully just creator-made.
What was that?
I'm excited.
So, we're going to jump into this live stream, and you will see our thoughts and opinions after the 2 episodes. So, we will see you in like 40 minutes to an hour, something like that. Who knows? But hopefully it's good.
12 seconds later.
So, are you enjoying the trinket?
I am.
You're enjoying the plushy trinket?
He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Owen Wilson.
Wow. So we just finished watching the first 2 episodes. Advanced screening.
Need that 3rd episode. It needs to be Friday already.
Of course. You'll be seeing this on Friday, so you'll be able to see it, but we won't.
Very excited.
We have to wait. Let's start off with some non-spoiler thoughts, opinions, belief of the episode. These 2 episodes are things that we have not seen before as part of the show. So, was it everything that you hoped it would be?
It was. And I mean, and this isn't like a spoiler at all, but they're half-hour episodes.
They're like 20 minutes, yeah.
I picture this is going to turn into something like obviously a more adult version of like an Avatar The Last Airbender type of thing where they slowly... The first episode felt teeny tiny bit rushed, but it was because there was a lot of setup.
Yeah, you need to watch the first 2 episodes together to get the full experience. Because otherwise, if you just watch the first episode, it kind of ends on like a bummer note of like, well, you know? Not to spoil anything, of course.
And so the way they're setting it up is you can tell it's going to just get better and better and just, the animation, beautiful. The music, stunning. Obviously the voice acting is great because they're all, we knew they were good at that.
Right, the voice acting's really good. I do agree, the animation's pretty good. The only thing I will say is that you can really tell where they're using CG, but like, it's fine.
I don't mind that.
It's
at
not,
all.
No, and it's totally understandable for what they use the CGI for. You could just very much tell that it's CG. Like, it's not masked, you know?
Yes, but I think I think it looks more like a choice than in a oops.
Right.
Because the way that they're using it is, like, grandiose.
Right. I mean, it's also a necessity. Like, if they were going to hand animate that, I mean, you'd have to, like, triple the budget of this. So, animation's good, music's good, voice acting's good.
Toe beans. It has toe beans.
I will admit, I wasn't expecting them to be adapting this story for those first 2 episodes, but, like, in hindsight, it makes total sense.
It does, yeah. I mean, I figured once they announced the cast and who they were playing...
Oh, yeah.
That I'd be like, okay, so they're doing this part. But it works really, really well for the setup. And I believe it's actually something that kind of happened in canon, just a little bit
it's
faster. They're just condensing a little bit more.
It 100% happened. I remember they had like a special episode or a recap episode that was like an animatic of the events that are depicted in this 2-part episode, where the voice actors, you know, the cast of Critical Role, they basically explained what happened during this little quest.
A good choice that they picked that specific
that little quest.
Quest. Because it does tie in really, really well.
That's exactly what I was going to get into, is that this is going to tie into almost everything. Like, if they do get to ultimately adapt the full story of Vox Machina through the series.
And you can see where they're leaving little, like...
Nuggets of,
for the people who have watched Critical Role. Like, obviously, this works absolutely well for people who have no idea what it is.
Right, because when you see these little moments, you're like, okay, they're lingering on this for a little bit. I should probably remember this for, like, season 3 or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, but the people who have seen it, you're like...
Yeah, you're like, oh...
That's a thing.
I recognize thing. I will say, before we get into spoiler talk, there's a couple other things that I do want to note. There's a lot of decisions that I'm surprised by. I mean, they changed a lot of designs for one.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Gilmore is, like, super different. Like, almost every like, piece of fan art that I've seen that has been, like, pseudo-canonized, he's been, like, a lot more angleized and with, like, a sharp jawline and
sliver. Matt described him as, like, rotund.
No, yeah, that's the thing. He's always been described as more rotund. I think he described his outfit as, like, the wizard equivalent of, like, a tracksuit from the 80s or something.
No. I remember, like, at one point that he was like, yeah, he's wearing, like, gold eyeliner. And I was like, damn... choice. Pretty.
Right, so when I see him wearing like the blue eyeliner and the red lipstick, like I kind of forget because I'm used to seeing all the fan art, which doesn't normally include that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for his character since he's very flamboyant, and I think the fan wiki describes him as having a Broadway personality.
Yeah, he does.
Which is just like a really funny euphemism.
I mean, all their character designs were really, really good. One that caught me off guard, and maybe it's just because the art that I've seen of Scanlan, why did they make him hot? I mean, I know why they made him hot. Like, he's a womanizer. He's supposed to be. You don't get as many ladies as Mr. Scanlan does
without being at least a little bit
attractive.
Yeah,
but like, I'm seeing him there, and I was like, I would fall for it. I would. Yep, I get it.
You know what? At least you're admitting to it.
I get it. Vax though has my heart.
The other major thing that we should mention is this is very adult.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My God. Oh my God.
Certain things that we were like, oh, there's like nudity.
Oh yeah, there's full on nudity.
Did not expect.
Like waist up nudity, mind you, and like some like
hell.
There's a lot.
I saw a little bit of a scrotum.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's definitely not for children.
No. I mean, you can tell from like the first like 10 seconds where if you guys have seen the teaser animation, you guys have seen. Where like there's this random like stereotypical fantasy party group, and like they just like get cleaved in half, and there's blood everywhere.
There's cursing and things like that.
They drop the F-bomb like immediately upon showing up. Like, it's not for kids. Don't watch this with your kids, because I know some of you freaks out there who watch Critical Role watch this stuff with your kids. This is not for children. This is not. So anyway, with that having been precluded, for those of you who don't want to hear the spoilers, let's just say for the sake of brevity, it was quite a good time. You should probably go watch it, but we're going to talk about spoilers now. Skip ahead to this timestamp on screen to get to the outro. Kevin's, you know what to do. Put the numbers here. You've got a couple seconds left to go ahead to this time code before we talk about spoilers. And spoiler time. Okay. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the dragon in the room. They adapted the Krieg storyline.
That's so fun. And I mean, like I said, from looking at all their build up to, like, you know, the voice characters and all that stuff, when they mentioned General Krieg, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, I know that guy. That's the guy who was a dragon.
That's a blue dragon. That's part of the Chroma Conclave.
Right.
So they're gonna do that, and then they do set up like little things for the Chroma Conclave, like General Krieg's office has
a rug with the 5 dragon heads on it.
Yeah. But oh my god, David Tennant, holy shit.
He did a really good job.
He did such a good job.
Like, I feel bad.
I mean, of course.
I feel bad that he's only in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's like, what a good 2 episodes to use that paycheck
But also,
on.
I'm sure David Tennant is not a cheap.
It's really
and
good.
then, I really liked the way they set up Vox Machina. Because obviously when they fight the dragon at first, they're like,
we're gonna die.
We can't do this.
As any party would upon facing dragons for the first time.
But the way that they set it up from them switching from being like, I can't do this, to like,
we should try.
we gotta do this.
Right.
I thought was nice and very...
Well, it took that whole first episode.
Yeah.
Which is part of, you know, the reason why it sort of ends on like a downer note if you just stop on that episode.
But it's a downer with hope.
One of the things I really like, there's a lot of Easter eggs, both for the first campaign and surprisingly for the second campaign.
There's a lot for the second campaign. There's one scene, and it's such a tiny little moment that I thought was so cute, but when they leave Trinket outside,
oh, yes.
when they go into the palace to talk to Uriel, and when they come back, the 2 guards are like just
giving
scritches, and Trinket's like, "Rrr." And then as soon as they come out, the 2 guards are like,
it's so funny.
And I thought that was so cute. Oh my god, in the end, the cliffhanger is that the Briarwoods are on the way here to Amon.
Here to Amon, my house.
Yes. And the way they like any like low level party when they're still kind of figuring out like how each other fights and like how they can work with each other's fighting styles.
Yeah, like how they gel together.
Yeah.
That's the obstacle they're facing aside from the dragon.
Yeah. So, and then the way they realize that it's like, oh wait, we can use this to our advantage. 10 out of 10, no complaints, I love them. And they also did a really good job of kind of really establishing like every character's personality and their relationship with each other.
Right, I think that
except maybe Vex and Percy, but that does happen way later on.
Right, I mean the thing also worth remembering is that it takes a long time to establish the personalities of characters in general, especially in a TV show.
Yes.
But they all get little moments where you get, you know, if you've never seen the actual campaign, you still get a good generalization. You know, Keyleth is sort of unsure of herself, Scanlan's the womanizer, Grog is the big dumb one who's really strong, you know, Vax is the sort of edgy one that has weird connections here and there.
Also emotional. They do set it up a little bit.
He's the type who has a bit of a sensitive heart.
Yeah.
Him and Pike are both sort of the emotional center. Because Pike is very much,
Pike is like the one that's like the moral compass of the group.
I think the only 2 characters that don't get as much spotlight are, like you said, Vex. But that's because really her focus is the fact that she has that sort of dragon sense going on.
Yeah, well, Vex has like a spotlight in that regard, that she has that focus. She's the one that kind of slowly kind of putting the pieces together. And then, you know, she's originally like the one with the plan, the talker, the thinker.
The other character who doesn't get as much spotlight in these 2 episodes is Percy for sure.
Percy.
But that's because this whole season, the rest
is gonna be about Percy.
It's gonna be about him, so he's gonna have his time in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But he does say a couple things here and there, like towards the end of the 2nd episode, he's like, oh, it feels good to be in a dignified position or something like that.
Good to be in a dignified position again. Like, recalling that he hasn't been for a while.
Right. So, with all of that having been said, final thoughts, do you think it was worth it?
It was so worth it. 10 out of 10. Honestly, no complaints. I loved it. I knew I was gonna love it. I was going in with high hopes, and you know, I think they were all really, really well met. It's
quite impressive for being a kickstarted program for sure, especially an animated program. You know, there's little things here and there, but we only saw the first 2 episodes. So like, as the season continues, and as we go into season 2, because there is 2 seasons confirmed at least, what few itty-bitty nitpicky gripes you might possibly have, I'm sure will be fixed up.
I have one nitpicky, and it's just that the first episode felt teeny bit rushed, but I also understand why.
Well, you kind of have to see it as like a 2-part special.
So fun.
I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it.
Like, fully I was watching it at parts, and I was just like...
You sure were.
Like, just watching it, like... So, I loved it.
So, like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss another one of our videos. If you enjoyed this little video, stick around because we've got some more projects coming along the way. Possibly ideas relating to Critical Role. Who can say? But, if you like this video, we're sure that you'll like all the other videos that are coming out. We make no promise of scheduling.
Not at all.
Because life sucks and is very chaotic, but we think you'll like it. So with that being said, join us here on the Arcane Opal for whatever we come up with next. And until next time, goodbye!